and rental space. But who will pay for it, and how will they pay for it? Derek Thomas reports the city made its pitch before the General Assembly.
City leaders and private developers desperately want this bill to become law, and they came armed with charts and graphs and a slick presentation before the House Ways and Means Committee. The Circle Center downtown mall would provide 1.5 million square feet of retail space, including 2 new department stores, 2 million square feet of office space, and 1, possibly 2 new hotels. It would cost in the neighborhood of $450 million. $295 million would come from private business, and the rest would be generated by a tax incremental financing plan, which means the sales tax generated by the new business in the mall will be used to retire the debt incurred in the construction of the mall.
It seems to me that it's going to a user charge, and it's saying that the folks that come in here and do the shopping will be the ones who will help to, discharge the debt on it, rather than people who never use it.
Over the next 12 years, the mall would generate $1.8 billion new dollars. It would create 3,400 temporary jobs and 4,300 permanent jobs.
This legislation is a win-win-win situation. It's a winner for the state, it's a winner for the city, and it's a winner for the development.
Not all the legislators were convinced by the presentation and were concerned about the statewide impact of the bill.
We have to be careful at the state level on how we relish out our control on sales tax or actually taxation to the citizens of this state.
Circle Center developers say the bill is an absolute necessity for the mall to become a reality. Committee members will get their first opportunity to vote on the bill sometime the next week and a half. Derek Thomas, Channel 6 News.
Should the speed limit on rural highways be raised to 65? Most governors around the country think so, but they've been reluctant to change because of the federal government has threatened to withhold federal funds. Today, however, the National Governors Association voted to drop its support for the national speed limit. They want states to have the ability to raise the limit to 65 on rural highways without the penalty of losing federal highway money. Some eastern governors voted against the resolution, saying the limit isn't complied with now, and raising it will mean actual highway speeds would go even higher.
Well, the Big Ten basketball season is winding down, and the race for the finish is as tight as ever. Next in sports, Ed Sorensen looks at how the Purdue Boilermakers dodge another Big Ten bullet.
Now to Ed and those amazing Boilermakers, huh?
It was really something sitting out here last night when we all wanted to be watching the Purdue game, wasn't it? But duty calls. Good evening. They had 1 foot and 4 toes in the grave, folks, but Purdue crawled out of a 16-point second-half hole last night and somehow managed to stay alive in the Big Ten Conference basketball race. To the highlights in Champaign last night, Kendall Gill will jam here for Lou Henson's Illini off the pretty pass. And the Illinois Ball Club, in a very physical first half, came out of the opening 20 minutes with a small lead, but they exploded to as much as 16-point leads in the second half, had the crowd going nuts at Assembly Hall. Jens Kuzawa, love that guy's name. He jams for Illinois. He only scored 4 points, though. Troy Lewis scores at the other end for Purdue. He had 18. Katie's kids start a comeback from that 16-point deficit. At one stretch here, they outscored Illinois 31-9. Todd Mitchell gets 2 of his 19. And the Boiler says, hey, we're going to make a game out of this. Everett Stevens, with a good defense, drives down, scores on the scoop shot. He had 11 for Purdue. That put him up by 1, and the comeback was complete. Glenn Blackwell, though, scores. He had 10 and gets a pair here for Illinois as they retake the lead by 1 point. This game went back and forth throughout the final minutes. Doug Altenberger bombs away and connects from 3-point range. He had a game-high 23. That tied it 63 all. Crowd went nuts. We are in overtime at this point. Everett Stevens gets the 3 for Purdue, but Tony Weisinger answers with the bomb at the other end for the Illini. Weisinger had 8 points. Katie said, isn't this thing ever going to end? Stevens with another 3 right there. And the Boilers can smell it now. Weisinger answers with another 3, but Mitchell seals it with some free shots. Final score, 76-75. Purdue wins in OT. And I think Gene Katie wanted to congratulate Doug Altenberger for a terrific game, but his effort was not enough. Purdue wins by 1 on the road. Here's a look at how the Big Ten standings stack up at this hour. IU still leading the Boilers by a game and a half at the top of the conference standings, but Thursday night, the Super Bowl of Big Ten basketball at West Lafayette will be live from Mackey Arena, both at 6 and 11. Iowa is in 3rd, then comes Illinois, Ohio State, and Michigan. All 6 of these teams will probably qualify for the NCAA tourney. IU may have dropped from second to third in the new Associated Press poll put together by the writers and broadcasters, but they remain a very solid second choice in the new UPI poll selected by a nationwide panel of coaches. Just came out about an hour ago. Nevada, Las Vegas for the fourth straight week, number one in that UPI poll, just as they are in the AP poll. They got 29 first-place votes. The Runnin' Rebs are 28-1. IU got less first-place votes than North Carolina, but more overall points. They are second again this week. Carolina got 7. 23-2, by the way, IU. Thank you very much, producer, for pointing that out. IU 23-2. North Carolina 25-2 had 7 first-place votes. Temple, this is one of the best-kept secrets in college basketball. They beat people last week by an average of 20 points. They are number 4. DePauw is 5. Then comes Purdue, Georgetown, Iowa, Pittsburgh, Alabama, and Illinois, the only other Big Ten team involved in the top 20 this week. They are number 13. Once again, IU is 23-2. Do not want to get the Hoosier fans mad. You know, this year, Bob Knight's ball club has a definite shot at winning the whole thing, the NCAA tournament. Knight's team and all the others in the 64-team field in the NC2As this year will be tested for drugs for the first time in tournament history. And the IU coach said today he thinks that's a very good idea.
Oh, I think drug testing is fine. You know, I don't have any problem with drug testing. We have these kids that are playing in this game on Thursday night will be role models for kids all over this part of the country. And for one of them to have a drug problem or to be involved with drugs is, I think, kind of a disastrous thing for these kids this big right on up that are paying attention to these players. And I think anything that can be done to eliminate it, alleviate it, correct it, all these things is, I think, very important. So I'm a very firm supporter of any kind of drug control measure.
And I got to second that motion. You know, Knight has produced more than good basketball players during his career at IU. He produces good students and citizens as well. So does Mike Steele, the head coach at Division III power DePauw University in Greencastle. And tonight, Kevin Madden concludes his two-part look at the DePauw basketball program, a place where the concept of the student-athlete, emphasizing students, is still very alive.
Thursday night, game night at the Lilly Center, home of Mike Steele's basketball Tigers.
DePauw's tradition in the classroom is well known. Well, now they're trying to build upon a new tradition on the basketball floor. One, please.
For the last 4 seasons, the Tigers have been ranked in the NCAA's Division III Top 10 poll. They're looking for their 4th straight postseason tourney invite from the NCAA. Not bad for a school that stresses books, not bounce passes.
I think there's a genuine feeling among the players how much they care about each other, how much they care about the school, and how much they care about our basketball program. And each year we've been able to recruit the student athletes that are not only competitive on the basketball court, but competitive in the classroom.
One fact arises from all the others in this classic student-athlete story, the crown jewel of the team's portfolio of success, the streak, as in home court winning streak. It originated back in 1983. Through that season, the season after that, the season after that, and on into this season, DePauw had won every game at home, 61 home wins in a row, before it finally came to an end in this game against IUPUI.
We didn't start this year saying we've got to get to 60-some. You know, it was win all of our home games. And I think that's the way our players approach it. And I think that's one of the ways that we've been able to keep it in perspective.
Senior guard Scott Lewis, number 13, has played a major role in DePauw's success the past 4 years. A young man bursting with personality, Scott is the defensive specialist on the team. No doubt he honed those skills back on the playgrounds of Anderson while guarding his younger brother, Troy, the outstanding junior guard playing for Purdue.
Just simply put it that we're best friends, and we encourage one another, we get on one another, but it's constructive criticism, if you will. Our relationship is something that has been very important to us because we have a very strong family, and everybody tries to help out one another, and regardless if it's on the basketball court or in life.
Which brings us to the big picture for this team. Winners in the classroom and on the court. Rather than fight the system of college athletics, they mastered it.
When they leave here, to see how much they progress from a freshman to by the time they're a senior, where they're helping the freshmen and they're showing the leadership roles. And I know that when they leave our program and they go through the interview process with whatever company, I know they're a step ahead of everybody else.
And that makes Coach Steele just a little proud. From DePauw University, Kevin Madden, Channel 6 Sports.
Thanks to Kevin and photographer Michelle Burgett for a very nice job on that two-part series. By the way, the Pacers will be in Milwaukee tonight trying to keep their streak alive. If they beat the Bucks tonight, folks, they will be over the 500 mark. That's just almost impossible to believe this late in the year. The Pacers